Hey peeps, welcome to the Four Poster Bed. I've had a weekend of drawing actually. It's been really, really nice. And I was kind of just so overwhelmed with AI, incredibly overwhelmed with it. And then I was finding, as I think a lot of people who are good at drawing and painting who've come from the old school route, you know, texture, real fabrics. I mean, I say fabrics because I'm painting on fabrics at the moment, but I've got 6 feet high canvases, and what I'm going to do, the back is non-treated and the front is seized or sized or whatever you call it. You know, it's got the white stuff over it. What do they call that? Gesso, is it? I don't know. I've forgotten now because it's been so long since I've been oil painting. But anyway, it's treated so that you can paint straight onto it. But what I'm really interested in actually is the back of it, which is just, it looks like a linen. And it's obviously it's canvas, painting canvas. It's very close weave. Well, not obviously, but I was really drawn to exploring stitching on canvas, but obviously with a 6-foot piece, I'm not going to be able to get that into the machine, and there's no way I'm hand stitching. My ideas are far too big to be, you know, starting another. Not laborious sounds like an insult, but it's not. You know, I've got output to do, I've got work to do, so I can't fit hand stitching a 6-foot canvas into my busy schedule. So I wanted to do something a bit quicker. So what I've decided I'm going to do is some nudes. And I'm just going to keep them very, very simple. I'm going to use the back of the canvas. This linen looks more like linen, and also the front of the canvas, which has been treated with the it's all ready to paint onto, but it's very bright white. So one side I've got this gorgeous woody colour. I would say it looks a bit like pine. It's very similar to pine. The colour, a little bit lighter, a bit paler, or raw linen, or almost sacking. You know, but sacking, I've used sacking before for artworks. It's very wide weave, which is also really good if you're doing textured stuff. It's really exciting and really interesting. But, you know, I don't have any of that anyway. But so I thought, I've got no equipment here, no art materials. All the art materials I have are rubbish. You know, I mean, that's why I don't mind the kids using it, to be honest. It's not very good. I really need some proper pastels. I really need some proper charcoal, etc., etc. But obviously, if you're following the podcast, over on my other podcast, my personal one, you'll know that I'm not allowed to spend any money. Well, I did spend some money yesterday. I bought printing ink. I had this bloody drama with this dude. I'd put the £300, I mean, it was about £275, my printer, A3 printer. And I've never had any luck with it. And it transpires. Actually, do you know what? I'll start at the beginning. So I put it on Marketplace for £100, which is a totes bargain. Totally affordable and a real bargain for anybody who wants a big printer. A3's big, you know. And this guy messaged me. I didn't realise it was still up for sale. And he said, the print head's probably all blocked. I'll give you £20. And I thought, cheeky fucker. That's what I thought. Cheeky fucking fucker. So, I mean, I actually said that. I said that to him. Not in real life, though. Only in my imagination while I was holding the phone. And no, he wouldn't have heard me because we weren't live. So anyway, I thought, is it you know, as simple as the printing heads are blocked? So I did some research, and indeed, I mean, I've had that 3 or 4 years, and of course the printing heads are blocked. No wonder I've been getting terrible results with it. So I went online, I bought some ink, it was £30, but the thing is, if you buy it on your credit card, but then you pay yourself back within 6 weeks, you don't get charged for any interest, you see what I mean? But you're still keeping it used. So I've sort of done that. I've done a bit of a juggling scenario. So I'm slightly out of sync. Well, then I had to buy, oh God, forgive me. The God of budgeting will strike lightning upon me if I do any more. Silk, right? I drew this fetus in an anatomy, oh, you know what I mean, an anatomy drawing. I've got this lovely anatomy book. and it had a cross-section of a womb, with the fetus intact. It wasn't a cross-section of the fetus. It was absolutely glorious. So I've drawn it or painted really, using fabric paint pens. And the result is absolutely glorious, because I'm doing these beautiful, I would say they're multimedia. I'm not going to give too much away because I want it to be a big surprise. Multimedia works in box frames for my Saatchi site. So I really, really enjoyed that whole process of, painting on fabric, but it takes a very long time, presumably because so much ink is going into the fabric because it's so porous. I'm sure I can get less porous fabrics, or fabrics that are thinner, so they won't suck up quite so much ink. But this one, it was a very heavy cotton from a curtain lining, and it really sucked up the ink, but it looks bloody marvellous, honestly. So I thought, well, that took a very long time. It took all day, which is fine, because, that will be reflected in the price that I sell the items for, of course. But I thought I need to do a bit quicker than that, just some of them, the sort of cheaper options. I want to offer all options to people, You can buy a really expensive one that took me weeks to make. You can buy a budget one for, maybe under £100 or something. Well, I don't know about that. Maybe under 200, shall we say? Because it took me much less time. So what I anticipated was printing onto silk. So I found some silk paper that you can put into your machine. How exciting. So this fetus that I did, I could copy it digitally, touch it up if I wanted to, and then reproduce it, hopefully, with this new paper and my new inks that are coming. So there we go. Now I did, in view of my budgeting commitment, I found a 2-for-1 offer, which means I got them for £15 each. So I paid £30 and I got all the inks that I need. So touch wood. I mean, I will let you know how I get on with this. I'm going to have to clean the paint heads and do all of that, the print heads. It should be fine. There's software to do that. And what's really nice about my printer is it's wireless, so I can sit in bed, do my drawing, take a photo of it on my iPad, which takes very high-def, high-res copies, and press a button and print it off. Within minutes of completion. I'll let you know how it goes, because I know dealing with printers is usually a nightmare. But if I got one decent image out of it, it would be worth the £30. Do you see what I'm saying? Because to send that to a company who prints on fabric, it's going to cost much more than that. Now, what I can do is I can get it printed onto fabric like a pattern, but then I'd have to do all the same pictures, and I don't want to do that. The other thing you can do is you can go to a fabric printing outlet. Now, I find Bags of Love really good, and you could make a pattern of different pictures. Do you see what I mean? Order your fabric, and then you could cut round them. So if this printing doesn't work, and I do only get one out of it, although if I only get one out of it, lesson learned, won't do it again, but at least I got the one. The devastation would be if I got none. Do you see what I mean? But of course it does mean I can print as well. If I get some high quality photographic paper, I can do some prints, signed prints for my Saatchi exhibition. So the exhibition is going to start very, very soon, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put one up a week or something like that. I'm not going to, sit here, sitting on artwork for 3 months and then suddenly do a big, there's no point. With the internet, there's no point in this sort of linear timeline anymore. Now, you can upload, update, change. I mean, I'm just doing chapter 8 of the Book of Immersion. Hello, gorgeous boy. And I've completely replaced a part of the introduction because I didn't like it. And I thought, is this reasonable to do this, to keep going back and changing it? Well, of course it is. Now, there he goes. When you're printing onto books, actual paper, I'm going to call them first edition, second edition. And that way, people will know that they're different. So really, once the editions are done, you probably want to buy the first one, because that's the one that will hopefully hold value. But anyway, yeah, I just noticed I was changing things, and of course, even with art, digital art, you can change things as you go along. You can change everything, the minutiae of factors that can be altered. So, brightness, colours, hue, size by the millimetre, so you've got all these variations. So I don't know if there's value in variations, but there's probably value in the first one of anything. So certainly I'd be tempted, I think, if this printer works, I'll be very tempted to do first editions of images that have been used as well in each paperback. So it is quite exciting. So although I've spent £40 and I hate myself for it, I did also buy some socks. Guys, I had to buy socks, but they were very cheap. And gold paint, but that was on Temu. So I spent like a £5. But, I realised that I'm supposed to be budgeting. Guys, I felt so much better afterwards. I just thought, can I last without these art materials and a pair of socks? I just thought, it's bloody winter. It's winter, damn you. Winter, my feet are cold. So yeah, we're a bit on the fence about all this sort of digital reproduction, if it's going to work, if this A3 printer can work. And if it can't, maybe I'll just go back to that awful man and say, okay, I'll take your 20 squids, although I very much doubt it, to be honest. I just think, no, it cost me nearly £300. Why would I do that? That's a madness. If I can make it work for myself. And, that's what artists do. We're adaptable, are we not? We adapt to things. We think, right, okay, it's not working now, but what I can mend it. I mean, I can mend things. I'm handy with stuff. So yeah, so loads and loads of really exciting stuff to look forward to in the days ahead. If you pop to the artbysonia.com site, you'll be able to see the baby. I'm going to put it up now. Okay. In fact, what I might do is I can make it the thumbnail for this podcast, and then everybody can see it. Hello, gorgeous. He's hit the mic again, hasn't he, with his big fluffy tail? Haven't you, darling? Yes, you have. It was a total pleasure yesterday to not do anything online. I didn't do any... Yeah, baby. I didn't do any Instagram or TikTok or anything like that. And I tell you what, I got more activity on my Instagram than I've ever got before. So I think sometimes it might do to just do one a week. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm absolutely, I've got other things. I've got nudes to paint. Oh, and just quickly, if you're from the UK, West Dean College do some glorious drawing courses, day-long drawing courses in London. So I will be doing one of those very, very soon and popping up to London, and then you can meet me at Soho House for coffee before going home. You don't have to meet me at the art thing, but I'll go up for the art thing. And I'm just really excited about it. It's the anatomy courses are the ones that I'm going to do. Because I really want to know about anatomy now. And it's very hard to get a model, and sometimes you just have to think, oh, I'm going to have to pay for that. You have to pay for things, unfortunately. My daughter also does a BDSM fetish drawing class, and I'm going to try and persuade her to let me go online and do some drawing. So I'm going to see if she'll let me do that on like Zoom or Skype. She might find it all a bit too techy, so she may not want to. But we shall see. Okay, guys, fare ye well. I enjoyed today's podcast very much. There's a Bardinator poem just gone up about what happens when you lose your internet. So a little bit of a laugh for this Thursday in a rather cold but sunny 4-poster bed.